What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Sophisticated Arrogance Podcast. My name is Bryant, but you can call me B. I'm not a relationship coach. I'm not a therapist. I'm just a man in my mid-40s with some type of experience, positive and negative, when it comes to women. I created Sophisticated Arrogance because I wanted to be like a big brother. You know, a cool uncle, like that smooth cousin. You know, to help my bros out dealing with these ladies. You know, getting caught up in some unfavorable situations. And then people ask me, so what is Sophisticated Arrogance? And what made you come up with that name? Right? So, Sophisticated Arrogance is a little bit of science, a little bit of art, right? Basically, behavioral science meets game and common sense. You want to know what the topics is? It's dating, relationships, real man talk. So if that ain't what you're here for, you might be in the wrong place. And that's all good. But that's what we kicking it on with Sophisticated Arrogance, right? So what's the goal, man? The goal is to help men create positive, healthy relationships, right? Create relationship boundaries while respecting women, but ultimately equipping them with the tools to have healthy and productive relationships, right? And I'm not just some random dude on the soapbox. Man, I'm formally educated, all right? I hold a dual bachelor's in philosophy and psychology, and I have a master's in public health. So I do know what I'm talking about a little bit, right? I'm originally from Brooklyn, but I reside in Orlando, where there's no such thing as winter. But right about now, it's a little bit cold from the 40s to 50s, but that's the coldest it gets out here, right? So just shout out to everybody, man. I'm sitting here drinking on some Remy Martin, some Tercet. It's a newer Remy Martin that just came out. It's about $110 a bottle. It's cool to drink. It's not something that I would say buy all the time, maybe a special occasion. If you're a 1738 drinker, you should stick with that. This is probably a little bit stronger, 42%. The 1738 is 40%, so it's not too big of a difference. This is a little smoother and fruitier, but some good stuff. So I'm drinking that out of my polo glass, man. Shout out to my low life brothers and my low heads. You know how we do it. If you ain't know now, you know. Right? So all of my show topics are basically based off of my Facebook and Instagram posts, right? Where I provide a lot of captions on either my relationship issues or life issues, right? So if you ain't following me on Facebook, check out sophisticated.arrogance. Same thing on Instagram, sophisticated.arrogance. And I don't know where you're seeing this at, but subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't, Sophisticated Arrogance. Make sure you do that, right? So you could, and then subscribe, right? So that you can keep up with all of these podcasts, because I'm going to be filming them weekly. They're going to drop every week, normally on Mondays. Sometimes that's tentative to change, but that is what it is, right? So today's topic is, we don't chase women, we choose women, right? But what does that mean, right? And what is the difference? And how do I accomplish that, right? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today, right? And so this show is divided up into different segments, right? Because I like to break up the monotony of the podcast, where it's just sitting down all day and me talking your head off for 60 minutes. That can get kind of boring, because I'll be honest, I don't even want to hear myself talk to people for 60 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So certain shows, we're going to have guests, we're going to have skits, we're going to have a lot of stuff going, right? So make sure you watch this on YouTube, man. I mean, there's going to be the podcast on the Spotify and the Apple Music for those who like to listen when they drive, but you're really missing out if you don't watch the YouTube video for all that special and extra content. I'm telling you, man, it's dope. This is something totally different than what you're used to, right? So, we're going to touch directly on the topic at hand, where I'm going to provide commentary. I often ask men, and sometimes I ask women, questions on social media, and they give responses, which I show on this show. I might randomly run up on people in the street, thug style, and ask them questions and film it. Sometimes I have interviews. but I primarily drop knowledge, tell stories, and give my opinion on real-time relationship events, right? Okay. So let's get down to the nitty-gritty, right? Because I got ADHD, and I know some of you got ADHD, so let's get to the topic at hand, right? So this is what the post read, right? And it should be flashing on the screen right now, right? So you got all of these relationship experts catering and patronizing the ladies. It's about time a fella put on the fellas, helping us be better men and getting our shit right without being sucker-ass simps that feel the world revolves around women. Nah, my man. If you get your shit right and become a man of standard and principles, these women will follow. We don't chase women. We choose women. Right? So what does that mean? Basically, putting yourself in a position where you are the man, where you are the prize, right? Where you see a woman that you want and you choose her. You're not chasing after her, because chasing a woman is trying to get a woman to acknowledge you, to get interest in you, and to give you an opportunity, right? That's chasing, right? We've all had situations in our lives where there was a girl that was bad and we were feeling her, and she ain't know who we was, and she ain't like us at first because she ain't know us. And so we're putting all this extra effort in to get her to like us, to get her to notice us, so that we can get with her, right? And that was the mind frame. It's like, I gotta work hard to get these women. If I want the baddest chicks, if I want the 8s, the 9s, and the 10s, I gotta chase after these women and get them. But it's time for us to flip our mindset, you know? And you're gonna hear me say the word paradigm a lot, you know? But paradigm just basically means shifting your mindset. So when you hear me say paradigm, that's what it means, right? You're gonna build some vocabulary on this show. That's one of the benefits of having an educated podcast host, right? So we're going to change the paradigm from chasing women to choosing women, right? So how is that? And what does that mean, right? So choosing women is basically saying, I'm going to work on myself as a man to put myself in a position that when I meet a woman, introduce myself to a woman and let her know that I'm interested because of the way that I carry myself and present myself. I already had that woman before I walked over to introduce myself, right? I understood the choosing singles. I weighed the risk. I understood the signals that said that she was interested before I even got over there, right? Because a lot of times as men, we try to make women like us that don't like us, right? Instead of focusing on the women that do like us. And I know a lot of guys are going to say, but the women that like me is ugly and fat or dirty or bummy or poor. That's because you ain't working on yourself. If you're a top quality man, you're going to attract top quality women. And that's just facts, right? So you always got to keep that in mind, you know? It's really all about that. Let that sink in for a bit, right? So that's what choosing is about. Choosing is having that confidence to know when I approach a woman, I already know that she likes me. I saw how she looked at me. I saw the attention that she gave me. I saw that she was checking for me. I read the room. It's a warm read, right? And in future episodes, I'm going to talk to you more in detail about warm reads, hot reads, cold reads. Cold reads is basically you meet a girl, she look good, you don't know nothing about her, don't know her name, never seen her before, but you try to talk to her. You grab her by her arm and say, excuse me, miss, you're beautiful, I'd like to get to know you, blah, blah, blah. That's a cold read because you know nothing about this woman, you don't know if she has any interest in you, she ain't show you any choosing signals, and you go out there and try to talk to her. And you have a really high chance of getting rejected because you just came out of nowhere, right?